Hi, everybody. Tim Lonsnizer here, and we have a really special guest that I'm going to get to share with you. They always say if you want to be the best, you hang out with the best. And for 10 years, I've gotten to spend some time with this incredible human being that is one of the finest teachers, one of the greatest musicians, and just one of the neatest people in the whole world. Scott is so humble about who he is, and he'll back away. And he's a DCI Hall of Famer and has all of those accolades. But I want to read something that one of his students wrote, because I think this is really for all the teachers that are involved with Consumer. Now the Blue Devils are part of us. I think this is why we do what we do. So let me read this to you. It says, as great, and this is one of Scott's students. He was in the line with Scott, yeah. As great as the number of titles, awards, and honors Scott has earned through his tireless work and dedication, far greater is the number of lives he has positively affected. Wouldn't every teacher like to have a student say that? Scott Johnson is the best of the best. Scott, what is going on in California, my friend?
Well, you got me all emotional now. I wasn't planning on starting like that, but thank you for that. Yeah, California, we have some sunshine today. That's nice. We're definitely shelter in place still, so we're all still locked down in our homes and doing the right thing and trying to stay safe. And the weird thing has been, for me, I usually travel a lot for either indoor percussion season or Blue Devils are starting to kick in now this time of year. And this is like the first time in probably about 50 years that I'm not touring during the summer, doing something with paradiddles. So it's very different for me, and we're gonna figure this all out together.
Good. Scott, we're so jazzed about, no pun intended, by the way. We're so jazzed. We're so jazzed about having the Blue Devils being back with Consumer again. And of course, that brings the entire Blue Devils family to us. And we know you're going to be a key headliner for the marching arts workshop that's coming up, I think June 10, 11. Yeah. What can people expect from SCOJO? What's Scott Johnson going to tell us?
Well, I'm going to hopefully help your percussion section keep better time for the rest of your band. Something that kind of, not that we miss the point, but I think a lot of the times how we use the metronome, I think is a huge advantage. The way we do it, the way I teach it, the way we teach it, to be able to use that metronome, the exercises that you should have in your program to prepare your percussion section for a show, for the music. A lot of days now people are doing different, let's just call them different exercises. That's almost like a little show in itself. I'm a believer it's basics. Get back to the basics. And I have, that's what we've always done, with the groups that I work with. You get the fundamentals down, you get the muscle memory down, and then you apply that to the music. So when you get that piece of music, you've already done it somewhere in your exercise program. So it becomes second nature, it becomes muscle memory. And hopefully I can share some of those ideas and how we do it, with everybody else out there.
Perfect. As you know, Scott, there's going to be a lot of people that are part of the virtual workshop that aren't percussionists. And I'm real interested in, I'm one of you, pal. I'm real interested in them being able to find out why you teach, how you teach. Because having watched you countless times, I just stand and drool about how effortless it is, and those kids being compelled to, they're mesmerized by you. Can you just give us a little philosophy of your teaching that we can all grab something from to use what we do?
Well, the general statement that I use, that's been quoted a lot, and my father actually taught me this, is if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And you think about the marching activity, the marching art, especially, let's look at a battery percussion section, snare line, tenor line, bass line, cymbals. How many times do you play that same 8-on-a-hand exercise in a season? It's ridiculous. It's hundreds, thousands of times you play that same thing every day, every rehearsal. And my philosophy is always, if you're not having fun doing that, you better figure out how to have fun, because otherwise it's going to be real boring and you're not going to, get the accomplishment that you want from your members, from your performers. So the more fun that they have, I think, the better they perform, the more they learn, the more they want to be there, the more that they want to participate. And that's something that we try to bring to the table. Um, Now we all have different interpretations of what fun is. Sometimes for me, fun is let's do it 20 times, guys. Let's go. That might not be what their fun is, but the whole concept is just to make it interesting. As far as like philosophies on teaching, a lot of it for me is longevity. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. This would have been it is my 41st year with the Blue Devils,
Wow.
as a teacher performer. And so, I mean, longevity does help, experience does help, but just being able to stand in front of a drum line and get them to be enthused about what they're doing, to me, that's extremely important, because the more that they appreciate what they're doing and they get enthused about what they're doing, the more they're going to work at it and get better at it. So I guess just try to infuse as much as, positivity and as fun as you can into the program.
Having known many of the kids in the group, one young person came to me and said, I said, "You're new this year." He goes, yeah, I did this, and this before. And I said, "Why the Blue Devils?" He goes, "I want to be part of that culture." And I'm like, "Well, you can drum it." He goes, No, I want to be part of that culture. So tell me about the culture that SCOJO makes possible for them.
Um, it's a family, you know. I mean, the fact that I've been around forever, when some of the guys in the drum line start talking about, well, this is tradition, I'm going, stop. Who are you talking to? I've never seen that before in my life. That's not tradition. Take that out. Or, I mean, it's definitely a family thing. I love to introduce all the former members that come to the parking lots to watch us warm up, and I introduce them as their older brothers and their older sisters, and the four of the people that set the standards for them. And that's a big part of it. Is just the fact that I'm able to still do this. I hire a great team. Obviously, the staff that I have is, they're all former members, and so they understand the program that we've built together, and and they're enhancing that as well. And it's definitely a family atmosphere, and it always has been. Back in the 70s when I first joined, I mean, I consider myself an Odello child, and for those who don't know, I mean, Rick Odello Sr. started the Blue Devils. His father, Rick Odello, taught me in the Blue Devil drum line, and I marched with his brother, with Tony Odello. And I mean, I consider myself part of the family from the beginning, and that's never really changed. So it's definitely a family atmosphere. We try to make it a family atmosphere. Everybody gets along, like brothers and sisters should get along. And we get amazing performers. We're very fortunate. I keep saying I have one of the best jobs in the world. I'm extremely spoiled with the Blue Devil culture, and the kids, the performers, I should say, that come to the organization just to audition. It's just mesmerizing at times. So it makes our job a little bit easy.
Yeah.
But just to see them perform on the field, it's definitely a family atmosphere, and we do teach them like adults, because they are.
It is a family atmosphere. It's one of the kindest, most open, generous, invitational groups I've ever been around. They join you at the table. There's always room for you. If you were a band director, not knowing what's going to happen in the weeks ahead, I mean, the one thing we know is we don't know. Do you think it's and not being a percussionist? Let's add that to it, and not really knowing what the schedule is going to be or how much time, or even if you were a percussion instructor, is it worth spending 2 days sitting in front of a computer listening to the headliners talk about this wonderful art form? What do you think?
I would hope so. I mean, obviously, we're all kind of locked down right now, and like you said, the only thing we know is that we don't know.
Mhm.
I know what I've been doing in this time, and I've been working on my own skills. I've been working on my own chops. I've been drumming every day. I've been trying to get better at everything I do, and anything I could find on the internet, I'm grabbing.
Yeah.
Wonder what that is. Wonder what that says. Oh, they do that. Oh, how do I do that? So I mean, I am definitely trying to improve what we do. I would think as a band director, whether it's a percussionist or a non-percussionist, something like this has got to be valuable just to see how other people do things. It might not be exactly where they came from or what they're used to, but just to get other ideas that you might be able to intertwine with what your situation is and what your teaching philosophies are, I think will only help. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun too. That's what we do.
Well, I was talking to John Meehan about content and context. what you teach and the way you teach what you teach. And I think anybody could listen to you and go, oh, I can adapt that to beginning recorders. You know, I can, oh, wait, I can see what he does. Because, the whole game of motivation or inspiration or whatever term you want to put on it is that's the mortar between the bricks. That's the juice. And boy, you do it so well. I'll share a quick story. I was online looking at some of your things, some of Scott's things, and they had a video of you playing, and I went, "Oh my God, how does he do that?" And then I tried it. I wasn't even close. And then you said, "I just speed the tape up." It cracked me up. I know you don't speed the tape up. Um, if to just kind of wrap this up, can you just give, I mean, you're such a wonderful soul. I really love you just for the fact that you make the students so important. It's about them, as the first reading I shared. If you had a piece of advice, Scott, for everybody out there, what would you tell them during these unusual times?
Well, to all my drummers, my people, I just use the term keep drumming.
Yeah,
I mean, we obviously don't know what's going to happen.
yeah,
I know, we've been talking as a Blue Devil staff what the future is going to hold for us, and we have all these different options. What's going to happen with the activity, and if it's going to continue or not continue, and what form it's going to continue, all of the above. And we are going to perform again. That's for sure. I
absolutely.
can, guarantee you somehow the Blue Devil organization, Conselmer, we're going to be performing again. What form that'll be in, not quite sure yet. It might be on a football field with competitions with other drum corps. It might be, who knows, on a football field with nobody in the stands. We might be staying in hotels instead of schools in the summer. I mean, we're not sure what it's going to be, but we're definitely going to perform again, and that's something I'm looking forward to. And I mean, a little quick note. Speaking of that, coming this Memorial Day, the 2020, yes, I said the 2020 Blue Devil Drumline is having a competition. And we set this thing up where we wanted to keep it internal, so it's the snare line versus the tenor line versus the bass line versus the front ensemble. And they're all putting together their own little shows, virtual.
Ah,
They record themselves, they're syncing them up, and we're having a contest on Memorial Day, which was usually the Blue Devils' first performance. On Memorial Day, it's the first time we play for our fans and for family, and they all come out and watch us do whatever we have at the show so far on Memorial Day. So I wanted to keep that tradition alive. So we are definitely doing a performance on Memorial Day. Um, and I already saw the bass drum entry, and it's pretty cool what these kids can come up with, I got to tell you. And I know it'd be much better than anything I could think of. So I said, the door's open, guys. Do whatever you want. You're going to perform for your fans, for your family, and let's have some fun with this. And the staff will judge. I'm going to get some guest judges. Tim, I'd like to get you to judge. We'll do. And the whole concept is to make this throughout the season. Have championships in August.
sure.
And lead up to it with regionals every Saturday night, the snares versus the tenors, and they're going to come up with their own show concepts. And so something that we're doing to keep involved is to keep that communication going between the members, keep the enthusiasm going. It is a competitive thing that we do. And so we're going to try to keep that involved a little bit. But the bottom line is we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And the members are already having fun with it as I'm watching them put this together. And so look forward to that, and just, keep drumming.
Amen. Scott, thanks. Once again, just that description is a reflection of you. And I know you're the one that stands back and goes, no, no, it's the kids. But I know why you've opened up that creative landscape. I'll look forward to seeing you along the way. For the folks out there, I mean, if you look at the people that are part of this marching arts workshop, it literally is a Hall of Fame who's who, the icons, the luminaries, and certainly Scott is at the top of that list. Take care, my friend. Tell Judy hi. Love you, pal.
Absolutely.
Talk to you
Thanks,
later.
guys. Take
Okay,
care.
bye-bye, bro.